1 week closer to death. It's League One predictions. Yep, and it's the big one. You've probably seen it in thumbnail. World record Barnsley loss this weekend. I really just want to jump to it straight away, but I'm not going to do. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to go through them properly. Reading and Wycombe first at 12:30. Not going to lie. NGL. Quite a big game, this. Quite a big game, because Reading, we've seen throughout this season, are no pushovers. Obviously, Blackpool annihilated them midweek, which were quite surprising, because Reading have been unbeaten for a while now, and they've not lost before that since January. End of January, last lost. But like I keep saying, Blackpool are a good team. They're only 3 points off getting in now, Blackpool. So, maybe they might sneak in near end. But regardless, Reading are not an easy side to beat. And Wycombe, I feel like missed a trick big time by not beating Shrewsbury. They absolutely annihilated them, stats-wise, you know what I mean? All possession, all shots, as you'd expect when it's like 2nd versus 24th or whatever, or 3rd versus 24th. But they didn't take the chances. They had so many, and someone like Corney I expected to be bagging a couple against a side as shit as Shrewsbury, I'm not going to lie to you. But he weren't at races. None of them, from a finishing point of view, were clinical enough, and Shrewsbury ended up snagging the points. And that were a missed trick for Wycombe, because Wrexham obviously dropped points away at Cambridge and all. I don't think Wycombe... I don't think Wycombe win this. I would like them to, because I'd rather them go than Wrexham, but I don't think they will. I think this has got a draw written all over it. Let me get my pen out. I'm going to say, to start off the day's predictions, I'm going to say 1-1 for Reading and Wycombe. Reading, I'm going to say, like, Reading would probably take that as well. They're only a point off getting, and they've got a game in hand, and a few teams above them still Reading. Wrexham Burton. Like I just said, midweek, Wrexham and Wycombe both dropped points. They both drew the games against sides that they probably should have beaten, both of them. And Charlton won as well. So Charlton are catching them up, but Wycombe and Wrexham aren't taking advantage of us dropping points all the time. I do think straight away, after just saying that Wycombe will draw away at Reading, that this could be exact same. Because Burton are no mugs at all. I've said this for a while now. There was a bet Leyton Orient midweek, and you can't see what I'm looking at right now on my screen, but the form for the last 15 games, Burton are 7th in division, and Wrexham are 5th. This is a much harder game than anybody looking at this will just think, oh, Wrexham win, probably 10-0, stick it on my hacker, and then when it loses at 5 o'clock, you'll be coming back to this game, I'm telling you, because I am having another 1-1. I am. Also, Rob McElhenney followed me on Twitter the other day. He must be a fan of EFL reviews. I slid straight in there in DMs asking him to buy Barnsley. Not got a reply yet. Must be busy, that's the only reason. But I'll go for a Wrexham 1 apiece. Yep, you are seeing this right. It's Birmingham versus Barnsley. Oh, God. Best Birmingham side in probably best part of a decade versus worst Barnsley team in approximately 40-50 years. We've had some big old slaughters at their place, and like we have annihilated Birmingham a few times in like last 20 odd years. Like we annihilated them in Championship playoffs. I know I'm going back to 2000 here, but we battered them 4-0 at their place in Championship playoffs. Bet them 5-0 on Sky before, I remember that. Odd 3-0. But this ain't one of them. This ain't one of them games, I am telling you. You've just got to clock into what's going to happen here, right? All year I've said that Birmingham are not big scorers, which they aren't. They're very efficient. They'll just easily just pick you apart and win. We aren't taking any injuries. We aren't really getting out of first gear majority of the time. They just pick you to bits and win fairly comfortably. Against the Barnsley side, who were definitely finishing 2nd. I don't know what idiot said that. And we're going to play all kids and all. There's like 4 kids that have been playing for us recently. I am going to say... We're not scoring, by the way. And if we do, it'll be done. In fact, you know what? I'll give Barnsley a go just based on the fact that Keeler Dunn will probably do something and be bought by Birmingham for about £30 million in summer. Dunn will score, but Birmingham against this set of Muppets, I will say 5. I will go with big old walloping Birmingham 5, Barnsley 1. Bolton and Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers nearly took them distance, to be fair. They played Birmingham midweek. They lost 2-1 eventually, and they've lost 4 in a row now. And Bolton snagged a very late one away at Wigan. They won 1-0. Some serious limbs though there. Might give Bolton a bit of a kick up arse that, because they lost 3 in a row before that, and that until very last kick at game looked like no winning 4. You got Reading breathing down your neck, Blackpool coming up of it ill. They need to start picking some points up more consistently, Bolton. I do think they will do it here, though. I do think they'll win, because Bristol Rovers' defence is shit. And I think they'll be fairly comfortable. I'll go for a 3-1 Bolton win. I still think Bristol Rovers are going to go. I think you've always got a chance against Bolton. That's the only thing with them. And what's making me question him at playoffs a little bit is that defensively, I think you can always score against them. Whereas I wouldn't think that against, like, a Wrexham, for example, or Charlton more recently. Speaking of, Charlton-Lincoln. Big win again for Charlton. They bet Mansfield 2-1 midweek after beating Huddersfield 4-0. The recent form is outrageously good, especially at home. They've won 10 out of 11 at home. I said this in my EFL review. 10 out of 11 wins in a row at home for Charlton, and only a draw to Reading in the middle of it. And they're beating different sides as well. Like, they've bet Wickham and Huddersfield, you know what I mean? Then they've bet mid-table sides that are doing now, like a Barnsley or a Peterborough, for example. So they can definitely beat anyone, regardless of who it is. I think they'll do it here because Lincoln's away form's absolutely honking in recent weeks. They lost 4 out of 5. And in case it means out here, in the times that these have played each other, home side majority of time wins. There's very little away wins. I'm gonna just say I don't think Charlton will even concede here. I'll go with comfy 2-0. They give me Sheffield United vibes at minute, Charlton. I'll go with 2-0, fairly comfy. Exeter and Stockport. Well, from what I watched last night, Exeter should have beaten us probably by like 3 or 4 to 1. Because we're absolutely horrendously shit. Before that, they lost 2-0 at home to Wrexham. They're drawn with Lincoln. They're not biggest scorers ever, Exeter. And Stockport won 3-0 after beating Burton week before. And I'm going to say again, Burton is not an easy fixture. So beating them, I won't shrug that off. And beating Stevenage very comfortably, I won't either. I don't think it'll be favourites day for everything. Like with the Wrexham and the Wickham and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be big favourites day. But I feel like Stockport will win this again. Whether it's 2-0 or not, I don't know. I'd probably get to a goal because they did pose some threat to Barnsley last night. But I'll give Stockport a 2-1 win still. Huddersfield and Mansfield. Huddersfield are so bad. So terribly bad. It's another game we are a goal from, you know. Oh no, it's not good. They've scored in 1 game in the last 5, and it were putting 5 past Crawley. They've not scored any others. Instinctively, I won't say that Mansfield are the best defensive side ever. They don't get it on. They're not conceding 70, but I still think you can definitely get at them. And they've conceded in a lot of the games recently as well. Looking at it here, they do concede majority of the time. You've got to give Huddersfield a goal. If they're not going to score against Mansfield at home, when are you gonna? You can't wait for Crawley to come round twice a year, can you? It's just shocking. They're so terrible to watch, and I feel like Huddersfield are gonna do a Barnsley. I'm telling you, they're gonna realise. Just stop jumping on your manager's back, right? Because whoever it is, they're getting shafted by a big lad above them. Regardless of who manager is, there's nothing that they can do with an hand time behind the back. And you will learn the hard way like we have, I'm telling you. Honest to God, we could have a dog in a flat cap and a suit stood up sideline. I still won't blame him. I'll never forget my first day down at Pit. No, I'll go Huddersfield 1-1. Still don't think they'll win. And I'll always give Mansfield a goal just based on forwards that they've got. But I'm going for a draw. Leyton Orient and Wigan. Leyton Orient chucked it away last night. They were winning against Bolton, I believe. I think they went in 1-0 up at half-time. And then they ended up losing game regardless. Against a Wigan team who took a point in the last 3 games. Obviously, it's against us. But they lost to Charlton and Bolton, 2 decent sides. I feel like that trend could continue here. Just straight away. The thing with... Pardon me. I feel like Wigan's strong point is the defence. For majority of this season, I've obviously got Sam Tickle in there, and the defenders stood in front of him aren't the worst that you've ever seen in this division. Going forward, they offer very little. Over Leyton Orient's main attributes, the somewhat lads stood in the attacking midfielder positions and up front. Like Donnelly and Kelman, I would assume at least one of them is going to do something. At least one little bit of quality from either of them, and you'd think they'd take it. Whereas Wigan, I just don't think are going to score here. They got one against Charlton and they got one against us. But they're just not most free-flowing attacking side ever. Regardless of the fact that they got Ryan Lowe in, and I think it'll change in time. But at minute, this is like Leyton Orient 1-0 all over me. So I'm going to go with that one. Not down and out yet, Leyton Orient. Bit of consistency they might still get in. Peterborough and Northampton. I'll tell you what, I was very impressed with Peterborough last night from the bit that I saw. Very rare that I praise them, but I were impressed. Because I knew that there were going to be goals in that. I had it on my little lacquer, which still lost. But I knew that Crawley were going to score some goals against these because that's what they can do. Peterborough's defence is shit, and it has been all year. I think recently it's changed a little bit. They've not been conceding as many, but they've still conceded 66 goals in the league this season, which is the joint most, if I'm looking at this properly. They've got the joint with Shrewsbury for goals conceded. It's what you get when you sell all your best players and replace them with kids. You read? But they've still got enough going forward, haven't they, to make it count, Peterborough. Like, Pockle's been back for a couple of weeks now. He's got 3 assists and a goal in 4.5 games that he's been back. Classic. He'll not be there for much longer. And Northampton dropped a bollock. They lost 2-0 up to Rotherham. That had been a big chance to sort of escape the clutches of teams below them. I keep saying it, Northampton are really pissing me off because if they go down, I'm going to be fuming. They're so much better than where they should be. Some of them players need to get a serious grip of the bollocks and see what they're made of. I don't think they'll win here, Northampton. To be fair, I'm back in Peterborough. I feel like they clearly have got a bit of fight about them to come from behind a couple of times against Crawley last night. Again, a side that's fighting for something. Northampton, you think, should have that fate and all, but if you're only getting a point from Blackpool at home, Cambridge away, and Rotherham at home are all sides, then it ain't looking good. I will go another steady 2-0. Clean sheet for Peterborough, I know, but I'll give Peterborough 2-0. Rotherham Blackpool. See, looking at this fixture before, I'd just gone, yeah, easy Blackpool win this, light work, because they're a very good side and Rotherham are shite. But they've sacked Steve Evans and then gone and won straight away with Artem. It's just like, I'm going to give Rotherham a goal here, just for Nombe. Like, regardless of everybody else, they could, all these players could turn into superheroes again for Rotherham. I couldn't care less. The only half decent one there is Nombe, and that's it. But Blackpool are going to score as well, definitely, at least one. I'm not giving Rotherham a win here. I'll put one on table for Rotherham, and I'm tossing and turning between 1 or 2 for Blackpool. We'll flip the Sony camera lid. Sony side up is a draw. Oh, on my life, it were a Blackpool win. So we'll have a 2-1 there. Shrewsbury and Cambridge, this is just who can get relegated first. Shrewsbury, like I said, they got a point against Wickham after losing 3 in a row. Cambridge have got 3 draws in a row now. Another one, one's against Barnsley again. Oh my God. The form of both of these sides is a serious eyesore. I mean, you'd be gassed if this were in your Starburst package because you just have orange and strawberries. The one thing that I will edge here is that I think Cambridge can offer more going forward than Shrewsbury can. Both the defences are crap. But I do feel like Cambridge have got a little bit going forward. Especially with that Stokes lad. He's a decent player. He's on loan from Bristol City. And he come from Aldershot, I think. And then they loaned him straight to here. Big step up that, to be fair. National League straight to League One. But I quite rate that guy. Bristol City have got a player on their hands here. And I will give Cambridge a 1-0 win because of it. Shrewsbury's manager that they've brought in is absolutely horrendous. And I feel like Neil Harris has got more on him in that regard, definitely. Plus the Cambridge going forward aspect, so I'll go 1-0. And then we've seen it out with Stevenage and Crawley. I mean, Stevenage have got nothing to play for now. They're sat in 13th. They're definitely safe. They're definitely not getting playoffs. They're just going to be stuck there for the rest of the year. So they've got nothing to do. The players will probably be mentally checked out. You know you're keeping your wage, same for next year probably. Whereas Crawley are still fighting for their lives, and the 6 points I've gained out. It's not over yet. Like, they scored 3 against Peterborough. Which you'd think the forwards at Crawley are going to be fuming in changing room after, like, we have just scored 3 past this side and we've still lost, you shitters, like, talking to the defence. And they'd be right for saying it because they've conceded 7... Oh, no, I've just realised. The Peterborough thing, they've conceded second least all season because Crawley have conceded 75. But they are showing a lot more recently. Since Lindsay's come back, they're showing a lot more. And I feel like he's the only one that could probably get them up. For it to stay up, he's made it a realistic thing now that they might be able to get out. There's 6 points with 6 games left. It is doable, but they've got to win here, and I think they know they've got to win here. Whether pressure's too much for them is a different thing, because there was no pressure on them last year to get promoted in first place. I don't think anybody expected Crawley to get promoted. At the same time, nobody expects Crawley to stay up almost. But if they win this game, they might, and I feel like that is the only thing that could maybe get to them, is that this is like last chance saloon. They need to win this if they want to stay up. But regardless of what I've just said, I want to get Crawley a win to hopefully make it interesting and go a bit further this relegation battle. Shrewsbury and Cambridge will be down in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, an absolute push. Crawley, I think, might go till very end. I'm going to give him a 2-1 win against Stevenage. And that's that. End this season! Oh man, you know, if I come back on Sunday or Monday, whenever I do my AFL review, and we've won away at Birmingham, I'm going to laugh my head off. But unfortunately, I don't think it will be the case. Thank you so much for watching, boys. Kiss, love you all. Make sure you like, please, and subscribe. It helps me out quite a lot. Thank you very much. See you in a bit.
Say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.